Well, those days.
It's a great day. I don't think I wanna take my time.
Sorry, we're late.
And all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
The United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
From the back.
Okay. Again, sorry, we're late. 6:07 by the clock in the back. Fred, you want to come up?
Sure.
Any comments for public safety? So Chief Lute, Village of Port Jefferson. Take questions or concerns from the audience. When you're speaking, please come up to the microphone as we are live on YouTube.
And we have no Suffolk County police officer tonight. Okay, then I just want one quick thing to say. School is open. Please, everyone listening, drive carefully. We're coming into a season we'll have leaves on the ground and wet weather like this. Combination is almost like ice. Slow down. There's nothing so important you might hit a kid.
Thank you, Chief.
All right.
We'll go to trustee reports. I just want to announce we plan on attending the school board meeting that's taking place tonight at 7 p.m. So we're going to keep our reports short, and we're going to hope to keep public session short as well. So I'm going to start my far left with trustee Cassay.
Thank you, Mayor. So just a update, Trustee Sneeden and I have been working on looking at the complete streets aspect of our comprehensive plan. That is making a plan for the entirety of the village from all corners of the neighborhoods to make sort of the arteries of the neighborhoods into places like the commercial districts, public transit, schools, parks, make them more walkable and bikeable for our residents here so that without vehicles or for exercise, they can use the streets of the village to get around for young people, older people, everyone in between. So hopefully we'll have some more updates on that as that project moves forward. We've been working on street tree issues. There are many dead street trees, places where there were street trees. So what I've done is identified where those issue tree spots are. I digitized a map that Trustees Sneeden and I have discussed to see which trees are sort of the low-hanging fruit to hopefully replace this autumn with trees that have ecological value as well as spring blossoms, autumn color, things like this. So looking forward to that. We have been meeting also on uptown parking, trying to stay ahead of issues up there as we have downtown. Parking is always a crunch. We want to avoid that uptown. So we've been looking at hopefully partnering with some of the medical office space uptown in order to have shared parking agreements so that we don't have to pave any additional space uptown for parking and take it from there. So we have folks in the administration looking into that. Regarding tick awareness, there was a family who had brought up tick concerns a few months ago. And so I've been looking into that, following up with the Stony Brook Disease Center. They have a more formal name than that. It's not coming to me right now. But I put together a list of recommendations, which I'll be pursuing over the coming month or two. We have been, as a village, has been offered handbooks as well as tick ID cards and tick removal kits. So we'll be talking about receiving some of those and letting the public know where they can be picked up for free. Putting information on our website, working with the Port e-report as well as the Port Times Record, and also reaching out to schools to see if they could keep these items in their nurse's office as well as give them to coaches to have them on hand so that our students are safer and more aware, and if they do encounter ticks, are ready for that. Flood studies and mitigation, I'll update on that at the next meeting to save on time, but I've been looking at all the previous studies that have been done in the last 15 years or so and trying to make a list of sort of a timeline and action plan for the village to work on flood mitigation. And then the Beach Street Community Garden program that was scheduled for tomorrow is going to be rescheduled due to the weather. It's looking like the rain will continue through tomorrow evening, so that has been postponed and new date TBD. Thank you.
Thank you, Rebecca. Go to Trustee Laux, please.
The rain we had today is shortening my report considerably tonight, because I was going to discuss the difficult summer that we've had up at the golf course. We've had 20 some odd days without rain. We have been putting up to 300,000 gallons of water on that golf course every night. And our conditions up there have gotten to the point where some of the fairways were turning brown. So this rain we're getting today is kind of a godsend. All of our water comes out of on-site wells. The wells up at the country club have reached a level where we've been put on restricted watering. We've only been able to water our greens and tee boxes for the last 10 days or so. So this rain is coming at a perfect time. The golf course is going to be closed for play this coming, today, Wednesday and Thursday, and perhaps on Friday because of the rain today, because we're doing aeration to all of our fairways, greens, and tee boxes. That process, along with the cooler weather and all this rain we're having, should bring that golf course back to pristine condition. We've had many questions relating to the early bird program up at the club. The early bird program is a chance for someone who is a brand new member to sign up now, play in the fall starting October 15th, and play the entire season next year for the membership price of one season. That program will start this year on October 15th. I can't give you the membership rates fees yet because the committee's still working on those. We have a long-range plan for work on our golf course. We've already prepared an RFP, which is a request for proposal, to have all 39 of our bunkers repaired. We hopefully will get that done this fall. The bid has been advertised. The bid will be coming back in on October 7th. We hope with strong membership numbers, we'll be able to continue the upkeep and maintenance of those areas that have been identified. The next project on the line after the rebuilding of the bunkers would be the cart paths up at the club, which are in pretty bad shape. Couple of quick words about the East Beach. As you know, the East Beach is closed. The access road has been closed down. We ask that no one walk down there. There's heavy equipment down there. There's a lot of construction going on. There's already been considerable progress down there. So we ask that you stay away from I know people have been walking down there from West Beach. I took a walk down there yesterday to see myself the progress that's been made. It's considerable. It's very impressive. However, we ask that you not go down there and look. You'll be getting reports periodically from the board on the progress down there. With regards to tennis, we still have courts 7 and 8 open up at the club. I don't see much action up there. Maybe people think it's closed, but those courts are still open, and they will stay open at least through the month of September, and perhaps even into October. We have plans to build a permanent barbecue on the present patio behind the scoreboard at the golf course. Hopefully, this can become a gathering place for members and residents as well. Also, we will be holding the annual village golf outing on Thursday, September 22nd. This year, the outing is open to all village residents, plus anyone who works in our schools, or is a member of the fire department, or is a business owner in the village. The cost of this outing is $50, which includes a cart, prizes, and dinner after the event. This is a great opportunity for anyone who has not seen the golf course to have a super day up there. You can sign up as a foursome or you can sign up as a single. We'll hook you up with someone. And if you're interested in a great day, visit the village website or contact the recreation department to sign up. This is going to be a super event this year. Maybe Lauren will expand a little bit upon it. And that's my report.
Thank you, Stan. Trustee Shevra.
Can I ask Trustee Laux a quick question?
Sure.
With regard to the membership rates for next year, I understand the committee's meeting, and I was told by the chairman of the CCMAC that the rates are going to be increasing next year. Is that true?
The rates will increase proportionally to the expenses incurred at the golf course. As you know, everything is going up. We will work backwards. We have our end of the year report. We know what it costs us to run the golf course. Salaries are going up.
Sounds more like a discussion to me. So,
It's a long discussion. However, rates will go up. They have to go up.
okay, well, I'm going to end the question and
That's
answer
it.
period here. So it's in progress, correct? You're working on it?
Yes.
Hasn't been determined yet.
It has not been determined yet. We've had one meeting. We do know that they will go up, but we don't know what they will be.
Thank you.
Okay, just a very quick update. There is a scheduled meeting of the first meeting of the Recreation and Parks Committee is scheduled to take place on September 29th. Because this committee has been identified in the code, there may be some code changes that will come into play before the meeting takes place. So just learned about that today, and I will be working with village attorney and the mayor to establish that code to be updated to the current maybe charter that has been developed. The Social and Hospitality Task Force of the Port Jefferson Country Club is really in full swing. We've met a couple of times with the new management from the Food and Beverage Organization, TPG, and Danfords, and they're very, very interested in working with us and improving the membership and the resident experience up at the country club food and beverage venues. The next task force meeting is September 14th at the Port Jefferson Country Club all-purpose room at 6:30. And then in terms of communications, the audit is still underway. I still have yet to meet with the Board of Trustees individually. That's on me. I haven't really reached out to them to set those meetings up yet, but I look forward to meeting with them. And I've got a lot of very good feedback from village employees. And I'm looking forward to giving a full report, hopefully tentatively on October 1st. That's it.
Thank you, Lauren. Deputy Mayor Staten, please.
Thanks, Mayor. Homecoming, I've been reporting the last few months on our homecoming meetings with the school district, and what we did this evening here at our meeting downstairs. We had a member of the school board come in, as well as our athletic director, Adam Sherrard. So what happened was one of the football teams in our league didn't have enough players, so they no longer have a football team. With that, the league had to redo the entire schedule, which then caused the game that we had on October 8th to not be an opponent that the team wanted to play for their homecoming game. I'll just put it that way. So in looking at the schedule, making a long story short, the date that has now been settled on is October 22nd for the homecoming game. That is also the day of our Village Harvest Fest. So with that, we normally have a homecoming parade prior to the game. Instead of doing it on the day of the game, we are going to do the homecoming parade as a night parade after dark on Friday night. So that'll be on the 21st. The kids did no longer want to put together floats, but what they wanted to do and what the committee and the teachers thought would be a great idea was to have them decorate vehicles with lights. as their homecoming parade. Hopefully they would each have a banner. We're working on the banners and vehicles with lights and middle schoolers on bicycles and kind of do this fun little nighttime light parade, which would go from the school district down Main Street, and then end up either back at the school district or or at the high school. And we're also working on maybe partnering with the businesses to have some food and drinks outside. That's to be determined. We're working with the chamber on that and with the businesses and business improvement districts. So stay tuned for that. But that will be the schedule, I believe, which is going to be that Saturday, the 22nd for the game. There won't be the Caroline Field events that we had done in the past because of the scheduling conflict, unfortunately, but hopefully we'll bring that back next year. Rebecca talked about the projects she and I are working on together, the Complete Streets Walkability, the street trees. So I'll leave that with, she reported very thoroughly on all of that, and the uptown parking. As liaison to the parking department, we are looking at different possibilities up there as Station Street is built, as Highlands Boulevard is potentially redirected to meet up with Station Street. Parking options and availability and shared parking are all on the table at this point. So that's an ongoing project that we'll continue to report on as we move forward. Code union negotiations are continuing. Do we have the next date for that? Not yet. Okay, so hopefully by the next meeting, I'll be able to report that has been completed, I'm hoping. And with the, as liaison to the Architecture Review Committee, 2 applications we're currently looking at is a new sign for Sea Creations to be put on the front of the mall on Main Street, as well as St. Charles wants to build a retaining wall in their parking lot for an expansion. And we're looking at this wall to make it look less obtrusive and cement plain, boring like, more user-friendly, more beautiful, and safer. There was a stairwell that was kind of around a corner that didn't look so safe. So we're addressing all of those issues as that goes on with their building applications and permits. And that concludes my report. Oh, one other thing I wanted to add. Stan had mentioned about the Bluff project and the progress. And thank you to Charmaine Famulero, who's here tonight. And she did a great drone footage of the progress there. So you can see that what's going on without having to go down there yourselves, put yourselves in danger where we don't want anybody down there. So that footage will be up on our website. There's a tab there for the Bluff restoration, and that will be accessible there. Thank you.
Thanks, Kathy Ann. Just very quickly, wanted to report that the Board of Trustees, the planning board members, and the members of the zoning board attended a walkthrough of the Conifer building, which is the brand new building as you cross over the tracks on the north side, on the east or the right-hand side. Fabulous improvement there. Apartments, 45 apartments, 3 levels, parking garage underneath, beautiful 3,000 square foot retail space on the main level, ready to go for wet space, which means it could be a restaurant, a bagel store, a coffee shop, whatever they need uptown. The space can be divided into 2. So if somebody wants to go into a dry space and then a little wet, smaller wet space. So it's kind of just a box right now. And the amenities in the building were beautiful. There's a common area. There's a fitness area. Really nice lobby with, place for you to get your packages in a secure spot. And the apartments were very spacious. The 2 bedrooms were over 900 square feet. The 1 bedrooms were medium 700 square feet, very light, bright, a lot of amenities, all handicap accessible. Some of them also had hearing impaired amenities. Very impressive. And honestly, we need more of those. We need for Conifer 2, which is before the planning board on a contiguous lot, to continue to advance. And we hope that New York State approves the funding for Conifer 2. You see the shovel in the ground at 1 North, which is on the corner of North Country Road in Maine. Upper Port is starting to take on a little bit more of a better vibe. Our building inspectors are up there issuing violations for people who are not following the village code and wanting to take down miscellaneous signage and repair their windows and their awnings. And so you see, hopefully you start to see a little bit of a sprucing up. Station Street is scheduled to be installed hopefully the 2nd to 3rd week of September, the latest. And so you'll be seeing just one right-hand turn now onto Station Street, and the railroad station entrance will be off of Station Street. So we're just trying to offload everything off of Main Street. And the Suffolk County bus will no longer stop right on the crossover of the train tracks. It will be pulled off to the end of Station Street. So things are really progressing there nicely. We anticipate a ribbon cutting around Thanksgiving. And I will tell you, I am very thankful for this project because it was not just 10 years in planning, but takes a village to build something like this, and takes New York State to help subsidize a project like this. It is 100% affordable housing. And Conifer is managing that affordable housing application process. So there are income caps in order to qualify for the rental of these units. And this is to make sure that these apartments go to people who need them, who need to afford to live here. And we're proud that it's 100%, because usually when a project goes forward with this kind of density, there's only a certain percentage that goes back to the affordable housing. So to have something at 100% is really great for this community and helping people stay here and have a safe place to live. I'm going to keep at the end of my report. You see East Beach is in progress. The upper wall is out for bid, and there was a scheduled walkthrough to look at the upper wall project. Got rained out, so there's one again tomorrow. We'll keep you posted on that. But the lower wall is coming along very, very nicely, and will help to stabilize the bluff. And with that, I'm going to go out to public comment. However, I want to know why this beautiful young man is in our audience this evening.
Oh, hello there.
Hi.
My name is Aiden Johnson. Nice to join all of you tonight. I'm with the Times Speaking Record covering this event.
Oh, thanks, Aiden. Nice to see you.
It's my pleasure.
Awesome.
Me too. I spoke with Stanley Looks not too long ago
Okay.
about the hiring of Daniela Brambola. So
Excellent.
nice to speak with all of you again.
Good to see you. All right. And then I'm going to move on to Barbara.
Okay, this is,
You can
oh,
pull
there it
that
goes.
down.
Okay, very
You
good.
can move the gooseneck.
Every time I do, I knock this off the table.
Well, that's okay. We have Gorilla Tape to hold it down, just in case.
Okay, how's that?
Great.
Two short things. The Chowder Crawl in October. When do those tickets go on sale?
I have to defer to the clerk.
Is it probably
2 weeks prior?
2 weeks before the event?
Yeah.
It will
Okay,
be the event right as it has the past 2 years.
okay, and only 2 weeks before the event. Okay, very good. All right,
Do
something.
you want tickets, Barbara? Is that what
I
you
do.
like elbowing everybody else
I
out?
am,
Okay.
and I'm under instructions from my sister also.
Okay. Yes, I know.
Okay,
Good.
so there you go. All right, yesterday, going home, I was going north on Beltier Road, and I turned into the turning lane, which goes into Westview and the three
Mhm.
houses that are on Beltier Road. Woman comes out of the north parking lot of Mather, turns into the turning lane and heads straight for me. So we're about to have a head-on collision, because I'm going north, she's
Mhm.
going south. And I'm waiting for her to spot me. I mean, I'm right there, and she didn't. So I slammed on the brakes and slammed on the horn. And then at the last minute, she turned into the actual lane. Now, that's not the first time it happened to me. And I was telling this to my sister, and she goes, "Oh, that's happened to me too." So having said that, and Matha is going to, the only thing they're going to do on Beltier Road is put in one of those don't block
Mhm.
the box. But that's actually for people to get out of the hospital parking lot and nothing to do with the residents. So, may I ask who's in charge of highway? Because I don't remember anymore. Okay, so.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
So, when do they do the striping? I'm sure it's not now because we're going into
It
winter.
varies because it was delayed all this year
Okay,
because of the lateness of the season. We had a lot of rain early on. And so sometimes we do it in-house and sometimes we bring in Town of Brookhaven to help us with it. So is that Light Street?
The town just did, I think 2 weekends ago, the town
Yeah.
was here in the village.
okay, I would like to ask that, the turning arrows, there's one down by Westview and there's one before the turn into Mather Hospital parking lot. So that stretch from 600 Belterre Road or 608 Belterre Road down to Westview, there's nothing to indicate, hey, this is a turning lane,
Right.
don't be in here.
This is before the stop sign or after the stop sign?
The Westview stop sign?
Yeah, well, after Westview and at the top of Stony Hill, isn't there a stop sign or there's no stop sign there?
No, it's yield, but I'm
Oh.
talking about the turning lane that starts at, the entrance, for the emergency room. There's a turning lane
Yeah.
there. There's also a turning lane that starts, which is right in the middle, to go into Westview and the homes that are right there. And that's where it
Okay.
happened.
So Barb, let's do this. We're gonna do a sidebar. We're gonna draw a little picture. We'll take it up to Steve Gallagher and we'll, you know,
Absolutely.
we'll
And
take a look at it.
I don't know if it's possible to put on the street the arrow and something
Yeah.
that says turning lane, but I'll draw a
Okay.
little picture.
Appreciate that. Thank
Thank you
you.
very much.
Yeah.
Oh, and Rebecca, I used to have a customer, he was a male nurse, worked out at, I wrote it down too, Southampton Hospital. They have a huge tick program, and they assigned him, not only was he Ray the nurse, I don't know his last name, and he was teaching before it was popular, all about ticks and Lyme disease, and this is before the Lone Star tick. But he was a wealth of knowledge, and he used to bring around the tick removal kits too.
Excellent. Well, if he's still in the area, I'd love his personal contact, but I have been working with that center, the Southampton
Perfect.
Center, because they are the source for information. And so, and all the more contact would be great. With the Complete Streets too, we're working on getting this Walk with the Doc program as well. So maybe sort of combining the two and having the doctor that people can walk with be someone who's specialized in ticks for the area. Just, get all that. So any contacts would be,
I'll see if I can find his last name, and before we retired, he said something about going out west, but he's still around. He's a great resource.
great. Thank you so much,
You're
Barbara.
welcome.
Thank you, Barbara.
You're welcome.
Mr. Miller?
Okay, Bruce Miller, 109 Scraggy Hill Road. Greetings. Mayor Grant and members of the board, the village board. I spoke at the last meeting about green energy for the Long Island Railroad. I spoke with development of the Lawrence Aviation and the possible incorporation of Lawrence into our village. I have since spoken to many of these issues with the Brookhaven Town Board, and tomorrow I'm going to speak with the Suffolk County Board. Just the Long Island Railroad must go green. Carbon-based diesel propulsion is unacceptable, and the leaders of all levels of government need to join together and ask Governor Hochul to enforce New York's laws on green energy and green transportation. The MTA is receiving $10 billion for infrastructure improvements, and we need some of this money for the Port Jefferson line. The Long Island Railroad is not exempt from green energy and must look for green solutions for the line. I have sent Mayor Grant and the board members a link to articles regarding hydrogen-powered trains that are being implemented in Germany. So far, everyone is in favor of green energy for the Long Island Railroad and a one-seat ride to Manhattan. This includes the Sierra Club of Long Island. Green energy for the Port Jefferson line is their #1 priority. Steve Engelbright, Ed Romaine, and Karen Hahn support this. And so basically, when I speak to Suffolk, Margot, can I tell them that you support green energy and a one-seat ride, or?
Well, Bruce, I think that's, I support green energy. This is a very complicated,
Well, I'm not asking
Yeah.
for a detailed answer.
well, I think we're all in favor of green energy, but thank you, yes.
So also this includes moving the station and the rail yards west Now, when I had conversations with the Long Island Railroad, they were saying that, for instance, they had bridges to reconstruct. We have 2 bridges in Port Jefferson, and they are too narrow and in bad condition. And so by moving the station west, in addition to opening up the train crossing, we also open up the, no longer have the need to repair these bridges. So it's a cost saving to the Long Island Railroad. And just in regards to the village boundaries, Lauren, your father has greater experience than anybody in expanding the village boundaries. Are you at all interested in this, or?
Expanding.
Village boundaries, the railroad, green energy.
Lawrence Aviation, incorporate the Lawrence Aviation area, plus that narrow band of homes between the railroad tracks and,
It's complicated.
It's, yeah, I mean, I think the mayor's right. That's very complicated and it's a Superfund site, correct? So it's not just a quick answer, Bruce. I'd have to hear more about it.
maybe we'll talk. All right, and just with regard to the railroad stuff, Rebecca, you had expressed an interest in that last time. Are you still interested in that, or?
Yeah, so when I met with Let's Move Long Island, that was part of our conversation speaking.
I'm sorry.
Let's Move Long Island, they mentioned that you sometimes sit in on their meetings as well.
Oh, yeah.
So we spoke about this in part, but please feel free to send along any information. I'll look at what was sent earlier today, but also anything that you want to come across my desk, I'll look and.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Bruce.
all. I'm gonna head for the school board. Thank you.
Thank you, Bruce. Anybody else? Renee, do you have any business for us tonight? No? Okay. Mr. Todd?
Yes. Is it okay if is it okay if I not come up to the microphone?
No, I think you need to come up to the microphone.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah, we're doing live stream, so.
I'm sure the board is aware of what I've been working on. This is, for the press's benefit.
Todd, just give your name and address for the record, please.
Todd Laley, 60 Ronkonkoma Drive, Sound Beach, New York. Okay, so as the board knows, we've been working on a proposal for an all-wheel pump track. Meetings a few months back, you had asked, why Port Jeff? And I've been thinking about that. And I wrote a quick thing on Facebook. I have to edit it a little bit because I put video with it. So, but as we work, we're proposing it in several towns. Stony Brook, Blue Point has $1 million allotted for the project as we speak. And if you can imagine, the infrastructure is going to be like North Shore Little League, where the kids will race. So a variety of places will be needed. And I think Port Jeff is the perfect place to break ground. And one of the reasons was a few years ago, after losing a leg in a motorcycle accident, I visited one in Brooklyn, and I was able to participate with my 4-year-old children and myself as a disabled person. And I think Port Jeff is the perfect town to embrace this progressive and new build to facilitate all abilities. It inspired me to start working on getting these built locally. As you can see from, I can't see from the videos, they're very cheap to build, take up very little space. They provide a healthy and exciting, safe corral for all abilities and a wide variety of disciplines, i.e. skateboards, bikes, roller skates, etc. And again, they're aesthetically pleasing when not in use when compared to more traditional skate parks. More traditional skate parks are completely unrideable for people in my shoes, LOL, and are intimidating for little ones. It's a great place for old timers like me to usher in the younger, newer generation while teaching them park etiquette. These parks also lend themselves very well to hosting summer camps and clinics along with race leagues, so revenue generation is also an attraction. And then there's the fact that there's a renewal going on uptown and it supports a creative culture. You know, a lot of skaters are artistic, and I can envision sort of like a Brooklyn uptown funky vibe going on that's accessible by train. And at the same time, I understand the difficulties of running the downtown strip with the bars and the nightlife and the fights and stuff like that. I think uptown, this is me personally, I think the group is in difference of opinion of this, maintaining that creative culture to visit uptown, spend their money, have a good time, and then leave. And if these parks were peppered along the rail route, young kids who don't drive could get to and fro, and locally, other towns like Shoreham, Wading River, they could use the rail trail. So it really is just an infrastructure, and I think Port Jeff is a perfect place to start. And that's in an answer to your question 2-3 months ago.
Thank you, Todd. I appreciate your thoughtfulness. Are there any other public comments for this evening? Hi, April. It's good to see you. With that, I'll adjourn the meeting at 6:42.
Mayor, just for the public who might be YouTubing in, is the school board live streaming as well?
They always do, yes.
Oh, great. So anyone who's not able to leave your homes, you're also able to tune into the meeting that's happening at 7 o'clock.
Thank you for informational purposes. Nice commercial. Motion to adjourn. Was there a second, please?
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks, guys. Have a good September.